we should be putting our problem like this, okay? Again, it just makes it easier if we put our first polynomial on top.
Still got the same numbers.
Okay, but again, you'll still get the same numbers, but as long as you put in the correct numbers with the correct numbers, okay? Correct polynomial with the correct polynomial, okay? Alright, so now let's go ahead and figure out what's going to go on the inside, right? What's 3 times 4? 12, right? I'm having x times an x, so in total, how many x's do I have?
Power of 2.
Okay, good. We have x to the power of 2. Okay, we need to get used to that language, okay? So you can say x to the power of blank, okay? Or x to the power of 2 is basically x squared. Okay? Alright, what's 3x times 5? 15x, right? Again, that's that part right there. Alright, what do I do when I get negative 6x times 4x? Negative 24x, good. And then lastly, what's negative 6 times positive 5? Negative 30, okay? Again, I've had a lot of people make mistakes today. And again, that's okay, but again, we need to be knowing that we are multiplying today, okay? Multiplying. Okay? So I've had a lot of people just adding the numbers that are outside right here again. Not adding. Let me go ahead and do my last step, right? What do I need to circle for this problem?
The top right and bottom left.
Oh, specifically what numbers? Okay, good. So 15x and negative 24x. Okay, again, if you guys are able to do this, I know it's kind of hard to do, but make sure you're putting that we're adding these two things, right? Because a lot of people have been making a mistake that we are just multiplying these things. Okay, again, we're not multiplying them, we're adding them. Okay. So again, can anybody tell me what number's going to go first when I write out this problem?
So the text, the power
Yeah, so yeah, we have 12x to the power 2
minus 9x.
minus 9x. So again, you guys are able to put this stuff in the calculator, right? But remember, we cannot put an x in there. So I should have been able to at least do negative 24 plus 15. Okay? So whenever I do that, I get negative 9x, right? We just need to not forget about putting our x in the middle. Okay, I've had a couple people missing that.
When we add them?
Yes, we're adding these two right here. Okay? Okay, and then again, the last number that we haven't touched is that negative 30 or that minus 30. Okay, so this is our answer. Okay, so again, does anybody have any questions?
This is
Easy?
Yeah.
This stuff is easy. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do it when we have a bigger polynomial. Okay, when you guys were doing adding and subtracting, you guys kind of got confused because it was like x to the third or x to the fourth. Like again, your polynomial just kept getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so let me show you an example using the box method. Okay. Is anybody else still writing? Anybody? No? Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and look at this one. I'm going to help you with this. Okay, again, I have 1, 2, 3 terms, right? I have 3 terms in this polynomial, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and draw my box like this. 1, 2. Okay, so I end up having 6 boxes now. Or, yeah, that's 6. Okay. Which polynomial do you think I'm going to put on top? The first one or the second one? The first one, right? And you see it, right? It's the longer one. Okay, so again, usually the longer one is going to go on top. Okay, when you see a problem look like this. These are the only 2 boxes that you're ever going to make. Okay? So let's all go ahead and start setting up our box first before we start multiplying. 2x squared minus 3x, positive 6, and then x, and then positive 3. Okay? Again, when I was walking around, I see some of you guys were forgetting to put the plus and the minus. Let's make sure we're doing that so that we know if it's a positive or a negative. Okay? Before we move on, let's make sure that everybody has their box set up. Okay. So look at that x right there on the side, right? It doesn't have a number. Okay? I want to make sure to give it one just so I know what that is. What number is in front of x, but it's invisible? At 1, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put 1x just for safe measure so that you guys know. Okay, so this is where people start to get confused when we have longer polynomials, okay? I'm going to go ahead and multiply this 1x times this 2x, right? Let's start with the numbers. What's 1 times 2? 2, right? So I have a 2x squared, so that means I have 2 x's, right? And I I'm multiplying that by another x. So how many total x's do I have?
Power of 3 would be
3. Right? So again, yes, it is to the power of 3. Okay? So when it's to the power of 3, we call this x cubed. Okay? Again, if you can pick whichever one you want to say, x to the power of 3, x cubed, whichever one. Okay, what's 1x times negative 3x? What's negative 3, good. But again, oops, my bad. What happens when I have an x times an x?
So power of 2.
2x.
No, my bad.
Power of
Yeah, so again, you have 2 x's, but again, that's x to the power of 2. Okay? Alright, what's 1x times positive 6? 6 what? X, right? We're not forgetting about our x's, okay? Let's make sure we're filling in our boxes, please. Jaden, put it up yourself, please. Put it up yourself, please. I don't want to watch it. What do you think of this? Okay? Okay. Some people get confused when we're multiplying just a single x and we're multiplying just a number. Okay? We need to remember that we're basically just writing these two things next to each other. Okay? Now let's go ahead and do the bottom ones. Okay? Again, I'm multiplying this positive 3 by everything that's up top right here. So what's 3 times 2x squared?
6x squared.
6x squared, right? What's 3 times negative 3x?
Negative 1x.
Why? What's 3 times negative 3?
0.
Negative 9.
Negative 9. Okay, good.
Time. Oh, time.
Yeah, times, right guys? We're multiplying. Everybody keeps making that mistake. Again, we're multiplying. Alright. What is 3 times positive 6? 18, good. Alright, so again, I still think this is pretty easy, right? We're just multiplying. The only thing you really need to watch out for is your x's, okay? Now, if you guys notice, I should be able to combine two things now. Okay, I have my x squared. Okay, and I have my x's. Okay, my x squared and my x's. Again, I'm going to go ahead and try to write a big old plus sign in between these so we know that we are adding. Okay, don't throw me. We're doing things for now. You have work that you need to do. 10 questions. I'm sorry. Okay, so again, what number am I going to put first when I write out my answer?
2x to the power of 3.
2x to the power of 3, right? Again, always the top left one is always going to go first, okay? So 2x squared, right? We're going to go ahead and add these two right here, right? This is a 6x squared and a negative 3, right? So what's 6 minus 3? You said 3x to the power of what? Okay. So again, let's go ahead and talk about this real quick, okay? Because everybody's been kind of making this mistake, okay? When I'm adding these exponents right here, I don't have to change them, okay? We only change the exponent when we're multiplying them, okay? But again, when I'm adding an x squared and an x squared, it's still going to stay x squared, okay? So this part right here is going to be 3x squared. Okay, my bad, let me fix that real quick. Okay? Alright, so again, let's not get confused. Again, we only add exponents when we're multiplying them. Okay, so again, this is still going to stay at 3x squared when I add these two up here. Okay? What's negative 9x plus 6x? Negative 3x. Right? Again, we're not changing the x, we're still an x. Right? And the only number we still haven't touched is that bottom one, which is positive 18. Okay? So that should be it. This stuff is easy. This stuff is easy. Okay. Alright, we have 2 more problems to go through, and I'm going to show you just the last method. Some people have been understanding it, so that's why I want to show it to you, because some people are not getting the box method. Okay? The second way I'm going to show you is the way that I learned in high school. Okay? It's called the double distribution method. AKA the FOIL method, but we're not going to call it that anymore. Okay? So this is called the double distribution method, okay? Is everybody ready to move on? We're okay? Is anybody else ready? so again, what we just learned right now is called the box method. I'm going to show you double distribution.